CNN's Freedom Project is dedicated to shining a light on human trafficking, and this week we're focusing on how corporations are fighting against the multi-billion-dollar enterprise.
Yeah, Katie Ford used to scout models around the world, and now the former CEO of Ford Models runs a global foundation that funds projects to fight modern-day slavery. Claire Sebastian has more.
Oh, this is interesting.
Model manager, CEO, anti-slavery activist.
So tell me how you started in your work against trafficking, because it was quite a transition that you made.
What happened was the UN asked me as a business leader to speak at a conference on human trafficking. And when I heard how people are trafficked, it was parallel to how we scouted models around the world.
She's from Yugoslavia, and she'll have her second show season here in March.
Katie Ford was CEO of Ford Models for 10 years, a company her parents founded in 1946.
It was a very serious business. It had over $100 million in revenue.
Today, her business is no less serious.
The hope and the dream that a model has for a better life is the same thing as a field worker who comes here from Mexico, or somebody who works in construction.
From her Manhattan home and traveling all over the world, she runs her foundation, Freedom for All, working to stop modern-day slavery at its source. She also supports victims of forced labor. Chandra Wararintu now runs one of Ford's partner organizations. A survivor of trafficking, she came to the US looking for work and found herself forced into prostitution. Her mission with projects like this cooking class is to give survivors of trafficking the life skills they need to move on. The very recent victims of trafficking she works with did not want to be filmed. Those who have now moved on were willing to tell us their stories.
When I arrived, this Hungarian man picked me up in the airport, took me to his apartment in Long Island, and he demanded all my money.
Before long, I realized that this guy wasn't him. And it was him, and then it was others, and then it was others. And before I knew it, I was involved in trafficking.
It's just so shocking. It is out of our consciousness, I think, when people hear survivors' stories, that they will be more motivated.
Katie Ford says she watched as her parents changed the fashion industry. It made her believe she can do the same here.
You're going to keep going with this indefinitely?
Until it ends, which I hope is in my lifetime.
Claire Sebastian, CNN, New York.
The survivor story is incredibly moving, and in fact, all this week, the CNN Freedom Project will focus on what the business world is doing to combat human trafficking. We'll have more on a tool that hotels and airlines are using in the fight as well, and you'll also hear from a former child slave.
Now, some of the world's poorest nations will eventually see huge increases in their populations. Coming up, we'll explain why that's good and bad news for those nations after the break.